The hospital corridor in Los Angeles froze in silence when something unexpected occurred. Doctors, seasoned professionals accustomed to delivering difficult truths, were seen wiping tears from their eyes as they faced Jungkook. What could possibly compel medical experts, trained to separate emotion from duty, to react in such a deeply human way? And most importantly, what had they just revealed about Jin that brought the atmosphere to such a breaking point? Jungkook's sudden appearance at the hospital had already triggered waves of speculation. He entered quietly but with urgency, accompanied only by a few close staff. His expression betrayed exhaustion and alarm, leaving little doubt that he came not for routine matters, but for something serious. The scene escalated dramatically when the doctors, after meeting him behind closed doors, emerged visibly shaken. Witnesses reported tears, hushed voices, and an uncharacteristic heaviness in their demeanor. For a hospital team to lose composure in front of a global figure like Jungkook was unprecedented. The moment raised a pressing question. What exactly was disclosed in that room? Sources describe that the doctors presented medical findings about Jin. Findings they could not soften, findings that forced them to speak in terms both clinical and devastating. The reveal was described as unexpectedly grave, not merely a matter of fatigue or temporary strain. They spoke of complications that required immediate and ongoing attention. For Jungkook, the words landed like a physical blow. His initial silence, followed by intense questioning, made it clear that the news had struck him with immense force. The doctors themselves were not immune to the gravity of the situation. Trained to remain detached, they nonetheless faltered when faced with Jungkook's reaction. His eyes, filled with disbelief and desperation, mirrored the weight of the truth they had just delivered. Witnesses described one doctor lowering his gaze, another briefly stepping aside to compose himself. These were not rehearsed gestures, but genuine signs of emotional strain. For medical professionals, the act of crying in front of a patient's family or close companion is rare. That it happened here underscores the shocking nature of the reveal. Jungkook, often praised for his composure under pressure, appeared deeply unsettled. He pressed the doctors for clarity. What were the risks? What could be done? How urgent was the timeline? His voice reportedly cracked as he demanded precise explanations, unwilling to accept vague answers. The doctors, though shaken, did not withhold the truth. Their words painted a stark picture of a condition that had developed quietly, but now demanded constant surveillance. Why did this revelation bring the doctors to tears? The explanation lies not only in the medical facts, but in the emotional context. Jin, admired globally for his strength and resilience, was facing complications that revealed a vulnerability few had anticipated. To deliver such news directly to Jungkook, someone who shares a profound bond with him, was an emotionally charged act. The doctors' tears reflected both the gravity of the diagnosis and the empathy they felt as they watched Jungkook absorb it. The weight of the moment did not remain confined to the consultation room. Hospital staff who witnessed fragments of the exchange described the atmosphere as unbearably heavy. The normally busy corridor slowed to stillness, as if everyone sensed that something irreversible had just been spoken. Nurses whispered to one another, security staff kept a respectful distance, and silence replaced the usual routine chatter. The visual of Jungkook standing motionless, surrounded by tearful doctors, etched itself into memory. From the outside, questions multiplied. Why were the doctors emotional? Why had Jungkook rushed to the hospital at such an unusual hour? What had been revealed about Jin that could break the professional barriers of medical staff? The lack of clear answers only fueled speculation. Yet the details that did emerge pointed to a situation more serious than fans had been prepared to imagine. Jungkook's personal reaction became another point of focus. He reportedly remained with the doctors for an extended period, refusing to leave until he had exhausted every possible question. At times, he was seen pacing, his hands clenched, his jaw tight with tension. Other moments showed him seated in silence, his face pale, as though replaying every word in his mind. Staff described his demeanor as devastated but determined. He did not collapse under the weight of the news, but it was clear that he carried it heavily. The tears of the doctors left an indelible mark on the narrative. Medical professionals are not strangers to tragic news, yet their response here suggested that what they revealed was not routine. It was not simply a health update. It was a truth carrying long-term consequences, one that even those trained to deliver such information could not present without visible emotion. For Jungkook, this made the situation even more unbearable. When even the doctors themselves falter, what hope is left for certainty? The wider implications remain unspoken but pressing. If Jin's complications are as serious as described, how will this affect his immediate future? What measures must be taken to ensure his stability? And most importantly, how will Jungkook, who now carries this knowledge firsthand, manage the burden of both protecting Jin and withstanding public scrutiny? These are not questions with easy answers, and yet they dominate the minds of those following every development. As the night progressed into early morning, Jungkook was still at the hospital. His refusal to leave underscored the depth of his concern. Witnesses said he moved between consultation rooms and Jin's ward, ensuring every instruction from doctors was followed. He requested immediate updates, demanded to see monitoring results, and insisted on being involved in every decision. His protective instincts, sharpened by years of standing beside Jin, were on full display. The doctors, though shaken, continued to provide him with detailed explanations. They spoke of treatment paths, of necessary precautions, of the unpredictability of complications. Their tone was professional, but their earlier tears had already revealed the truth. This was not a situation they could discuss lightly. Every word carried weight. Every sentence demanded careful listening for Army. The questions now hang heavy. Why did the doctors cry? What exactly did they reveal to Jungkook? And how serious is Jin's condition? The answers remain locked behind the hospital walls, yet the fragments that have surfaced are enough to paint a picture of urgency and gravity. This was not routine care. This was a moment where even medical professionals found themselves overcome by the human weight of their task. One fact is beyond dispute. The night in Los Angeles marked a turning point. Doctors cried, Jungkook absorbed a devastating truth, and Jin's health became the center of a story defined by shock and uncertainty. The emotional intensity of that moment ensures it will not be forgotten. The reveal may remain undisclosed in full detail, but its impact is already felt worldwide. As dawn broke over Los Angeles, Jungkook's presence at the hospital became a symbol of loyalty, fear, and resilience. He now carries the knowledge that doctors struggled to speak aloud, and the world waits anxiously for what will follow. The image of doctors in tears, standing before a devastated Jungkook, encapsulates the severity of the moment more powerfully than any statement could. It is a reminder that behind the glamour of global fame lies the unshakable reality of human vulnerability. The question lingers with unrelenting force. If even doctors could not hold back their tears, what exactly did they reveal about Jin?